Talking with the experts.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts, where we believe that success is a journey, and every journey is easier with help from friends. That's why we bring you top-notch experts and real business heroes eager to share their lessons from the road to success. We delve into new topics each week: effective marketing strategies, innovative problem solving, financial planning, and team building. We tackle everything you need to know to grow your business and keep it thriving. Whether you dream about launching your first startup or are a business veteran looking to shake things up, we've got you covered. With each episode, you'll gain knowledge, boost your confidence, and be inspired to take action. So, grab a coffee, make yourself comfortable, and join our exciting journey. You're not alone in this. We're here, guiding you, cheering for you, and celebrating each milestone. Let's turn your business dreams into reality, starting today. Here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Talking with the experts.
In episode 496, Marcus Svedin discusses with us how we can scale to 6 and 7 plus figures using YouTube advertising.
You have a sales process that works. Use it's proven. So, for example, if you're doing Facebook advertising right now, if you're a coach, a consultant, or speaker, author, or whatever it may be, right? If you're doing Facebook advertising and it's working really well, that means your sales process is working. And which usually means if you plug YouTube ads into it with the good script and everything, it'll also work. So in order to get started with YouTube, you need to have those things in place. So high lifetime value, a sales process that works. Okay. Once you have those in place, okay, you then need to know who your avatar is. So who's your dream client? Okay. What are their wants? What are their frustrations? Okay. Because you're going to put all that in your messaging.
Talking with the experts.
Is starting a podcast on your bucket list? Unlock successful podcasting for your business with this 81-page ebook. From passive listener to raving loyalist, the ultimate playbook to mastering podcasting for service-based businesses. Get your copy today. Purchase for $27 for a limited time. Or find it at rose-davidson.com in the store.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rose-davidson.com. Talking with the Experts is all about business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And my guest today is Marcus Svedin. And Marcus is a 6-figure entrepreneur who's going to discuss with us how we can monetize our YouTube channels. I'm really looking forward to that conversation. Marcus is the co-founder of Titan Marketer, and it's a high-level digital marketing agency where they take the frustrating unknown out of your advertising. They provide complete done-for-you solutions with consulting and step-by-step training programs to assist you to take your business to the next level by utilizing YouTube marketing. If you need help, we'll supply Marcus's details at the end of this presentation. Marcus, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Rose.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your journey, how you ended up with Titan Marketer.
Oh man, where do I start? Okay, so a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was a industrial electrician, and I was doing that for maybe about 10 years, somewhere around there. And I applied for a new job. It was 8 and 6, so 8 days on, 6 days off. And I was flying away for a company called Murn. And I was about a week out from starting that job. And I took my son, Ben, to a trampoline indoor arena death trap of a place, right? And I forgot that I'm not 13 anymore. I mean, yeah, I'm a bit immature when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I was jumping on trampolines as you do, right? And I was having fun with Ben, and I was jumping from one trampoline to another trampoline, and my right knee went to go fully dislocate. And as it dislocated, it popped back in place, but as it dislocated, my ACL was completely torn in half. My MCL, the bottom part, like the bottom connection to the bone, where that came off. Right, it was just flapping in the wind. Okay. And then I think it's the PCL in the back of the knee that got ripped. My meniscus got damaged, and I did a proper job. Right, yeah, I did a proper job. And so as a result of that, obviously, I couldn't walk. I could hardly walk without aid for like 7 months, somewhere around there. And they held that position for me for about 6 months. And then they just said, look, so I said to myself, look, I don't know how long it's to be. I have no idea. You should just give the job to someone else. So they did. But in the meantime, I had to, I had to bring the bacon home. It's like, how am I going to do that? So I've been dabbling in a bit of Facebook traffic and whatnot for about 3-4 years before this. Just, it's a side thing. It wasn't a big thing. So then I was like, so I'll get more into this. And so then my good mate of mine, Ben Jones, my business partner now, he was like, well, we should team up. Like, I'm good with sales processes. You're good with traffic. Like, I'm the yin, he's the yang. We go well together, right? So then we created Titan Marketer. And at first we just did a lot of some Facebook stuff and this and that. And we kind of moved into Google side, did the search stuff. But then we discovered YouTube and YouTube advertising and how awesome it is and amazing it is. And so that's kind of in a nutshell how Titan Marketer became Titan Marketer. Yeah. But no, love YouTube. That's all we do is YouTube. And it's just an untapped resource right now that many business owners don't really fully realize.
No, they don't, because there's not a lot of stuff out there to put you in the right direction. It's all Facebook ads or Google ads, but there's not a lot in socials about YouTube advertising. So
no,
so for people like myself, I mean, I know it exists, but it's not really something that it's pushed on socials all that much. So
no. And,
so
and that's because the barrier to entry for YouTube ads, it's a lot harder. Like with Facebook, for example, you just put it on a picture, some text, some copy, whatever, send it off to your landing page. Google search ads, same thing. Like, I love Google search ads. I utilize Facebook and Google search, right? Don't get me wrong. But Google search, same thing. It's just some text, some keywords, send it off to your website. Whereas with YouTube, you got to create a script. And the script has to be structured properly. And you have to create the video. Then you have to edit the video. And then you got to create the campaign for it. And as a result of that, something about at least in America, it's 8% of advertisers are actually utilizing YouTube. So there's not a whole lot of competition in the YouTube ad space, which is why.
Yeah. So how do we get started with YouTube advertising other than going through an agency? So if we want to do it ourselves, just for instance.
So what you need to do is, the first thing you need to do is you need to the prerequisites before you do any YouTube advertising is you have to have an offer that sells. Right. So if you're an affiliate marketer or you're doing drop shipping, YouTube's not going to be for you. I'll tell you right now. We get a lot of them. So anyone's listening to this, if you're doing affiliate marketing or drop shipping or even e-commerce, YouTube ads is very, very difficult. Right. So you need to have an offer that in a sales process that works. You need to have the value of a client, the lifetime value of a client, usually needs to be above $2,000. So for example, you're a chiropractor or you're a local service provider or whatever. Okay. People come see you multiple times. Okay. if I'm a chiropractor and I charge $120 a session, right? Well, how often does someone come and see me, right? And then that's, just say the average is 7. So the average there is $840 is your average lifetime value of a client. Okay. So you really want your lifetime value to be above $2,000, right? You have a sales process that works. Use it's proven. So for example, if you're doing Facebook advertising right now, if you're a coach, a consultant, or speaker, author, or whatever it may be, right? If you're doing Facebook advertising and it's working really well, that means your sales process is working. And which usually means if you plug YouTube ads into it with the good script and everything, it'll also work. So in order to get started with YouTube, you need to have those things in place. So high lifetime value, a sales process that works. Okay. Once you have those in place, okay, you then need to know who your avatar is. So who's your dream client? Okay. What are their wants? What are their frustrations? Okay. Because you're going to put all that in your messaging. And then once you have your avatar is, right, and it could be, you want to have maybe a couple avatars, but once you have your avatar, then you create a script. And now the script, that has to be a certain structure. So what a lot of people who are new to YouTube, what they do is they'll have like a video ad that they've done on Facebook, and they'll just try and plug and play it. But it doesn't work because Facebook advertising is a different platform than YouTube advertising. The structure is different.
Yeah. And
the mindset's different on YouTube than it is on Facebook. So when it comes to your script, okay, you need to start with the hook. And the hook is that first. Now these are for skippable ads. So after 5 seconds, you can hit skip, right? So you need to have a hook. And so in the first 5 seconds, you need to speak directly and call them out to your dream clients, right? So a perfect example is, are your Facebook advertising campaigns turning your hair 50 shades of gray? Maybe you should try YouTube ads. So just in that quick sentence, I'm talking to people who are already doing advertising on Facebook, which is what we want, okay? They're annoyed with Facebook, and then I'm putting the idea of YouTube ads into their brain, okay? So you want to call them out because there'll be people who see your ad that have no interest in you. So you want them to hit the skip button. Because when they click the skip button, you don't get charged, and Google starts to learn more, starts to learn who to show your ads to, who to not show them to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the hook. And then you have what's known as the elevator pitch, right? And this is kind of where you sell yourself, right? You kind of, you tell them in this elevator pitch, you tell them, kind of what they're going to get, what they're going to learn or discover if they watch this ad. Okay. And then you have the story. This is where you educate. This is where you give them value or you entertain. Okay. And then you have the close at the very end. So the hook, elevator pitch, story, and close. And the close is really important because you need to sell the click. So what we see is a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, so discover more, click on the link below. Okay. Well, that's crap. All right. What you want to do is you want to sell the click. So if you want to discover how to scale your business to multiple 6 and 7 figures using simple YouTube ads, just like this one, click on the link below. You'll be taken to a page that looks something like this, where you can, book a discovery call or watch a training or, sign up for my newsletter, whatever it may be. So you see the difference?
Yeah.
One, you're just kind of look, discover more, click below. Other one, you're selling it, right? So that's kind of how you want to structure out your script, right? And then once you have your script, then you just go away and you shoot it. Now, when you're shooting your ad, you don't need fancy schmancy equipment, okay? I use my phone. I use a wireless Rode mic, okay? And I use a gimbal, which is one of the stabilizing handheld things, right? That's it. That's all I use. And then I'll be in my office somewhere, or I'll be down on a foreshore in a park, or, depending on what kind of ad I'm shooting,
Yeah.
And then I send off my editing team, and they edit it up. And then I upload it to YouTube, create campaign, and then away we go.
All right. So how do we get from the video that you've just created, how do you get into the advertising space? How do you have to apply? Do you have to have a certain number of followers on your channel, or
Nope.
No?
So easy, super easy. So exactly right now, actually, anyone who opens a brand new Google account right now, Google will give you $600. Right now, you have to spend a bit of money first. Like, so I think you have to spend $600 first, and then they'll give you $600. Right. So open up a brand new Google account, have a YouTube channel. Okay. Now here's a bit of a pointer. If you already have a channel that's organic, that you've put organic videos on, and you're trying to grow it organically, create a different YouTube channel for your advertising. Because if you put your ads on your organic channel and you start running your ads there, it's going to stuff up your analytics. Okay. So you have your YouTube channel, you plunk your ads on it, you link your Google account to your YouTube channel, very easy to do. And then you just create your campaigns. You create your campaign, you grab your new video ad URL, that's the YouTube video URL, stick it in your campaign, and then away you go. It's actually very, very, quite easy to do. So mind you, I've been doing it for like 5 years. So yeah, I say that.
Yeah, it's easy for you, yeah.
Yeah. But you don't need a page with 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers. If you have a page, so if you have a YouTube channel that has 1,000 subscribers, will you get better results? Will you get better results than if you had a brand new channel? No, doesn't make a difference. Doesn't matter. The biggest needle mover for YouTube advertising is your messaging. The biggest thing.
That's
right?
with all advertising, though, isn't
it? Yes, with all advertising. It's with advertising, right? So you don't really need a whole lot to get started.
Sounds simple enough, but what sort of people does it? I mean, I've seen some YouTube ads, and I always click the skip button because obviously they're not for me, but even the ones that from known brands, some of them are a bit cheesy. What makes a good quality ad?
Well, that's a good question, and it's hard to answer because that's a very subjective thing, right? So sometimes cheesy works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes more professional works, sometimes it doesn't. I've literally had ads where I was walking through a park and I was literally just holding my phone with my hands, right? Walking, and it was moving around, but you could see my face and everything, right? The sound was clear. That's really important. Sound, very, really important. And that performed a lot better than some of my more polished, quote unquote, polished ads, right? Because it's authentic. See, what needs to happen is particularly with your ads, people resonate more with authenticity these days.
Yeah, they do.
Than they do with more polished stuff. Because you watch television or whatever it may be, and you see all these polished Hollywood style ads. Even a lot of ads on YouTube are all Hollywood style type ads. Whereas if you see someone that just has their phone, and it's probably shaking a little bit, and the sound, and it makes you more authentic and more real. And that's what people crave a lot these days is realism and authenticity. Okay. So, that's probably could be one reason why you didn't resonate with those particular ads. But in the end, it comes down to testing. We test ads that are more amateur looking, and we test ads that are more professional looking. We test different hooks. We test different messaging, different avatar. We test all sorts with our messaging. So like what works well for me may not work well for you, and vice versa.
True. That's true.
It's all just a matter of testing. That's what it all comes down to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's like with anything that you're going to be advertising, any platform, it comes down to all the testing, because what works with one audience may not work with another. So yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
They say, what is the cost of an ad? Is it expensive? Is it like YouTube, Google? Because I know Google ads are quite expensive.
Yeah. So what we usually find is it's about half, if not less, maybe about half the cost of like a Google search ad. So like if you're targeting, like one of the best things about YouTube ads is you can target people who type in certain keywords on Google search, right? Which is fully sick, because on Google search, if a keyword to advertise on is going to cost you like $10 a click or $5, whatever it may be, we usually find it's half of that with YouTube, right? Now, obviously, the price of how much it's going to cost you for an ad depends on your ad creative, right? So if you have a really good ad creative, right, you'll get more clicks, which will cost you less because you're getting more clicks. Whereas if you have a terrible ad creative, right, it's like the sounds bad, or your targeting's wrong with your messaging's not going to the right targeting, you can get some really, really expensive clicks. Like with some of ours, when we're testing, we've had like $30 clicks. Like, no. Yeah. But see, for us, and we target probably some of the most sought after people in advertising, which is basically business owners, that sort of thing. We usually paying between $2 and $4 a click, somewhere around there for a click from YouTube. So, and yeah, that's really good for us. I can live without like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so the price, to answer your question, the price really varies. There's really no
set
correct
price.
answer
So
for
it's
it.
not
It
like
just depends on how well your creative is.
Yeah.
And that's why you want to have multiple creatives, so you can test multiple creatives, find out, okay, which one's going to give us the cheapest clicks.
Yeah.
Send us people to our funnel or our website, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So if you're trying to sell a course or something, would a YouTube ad be, or a one-on-one coaching session, would that sort of be suitable for an ad?
110%. That's what we do. Right? So we show people our ad. We then send them to a training. And on the training, we then go, hey, book a call. Right? And yeah, it works. It works wonders. Mind you, if we're selling like $1,000 course, like a 997 course, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder. So, and this is one thing I really want to touch on base on is if you are running a course or a coaching program or something like that, all right, a lot of people undervalue their time. A lot of people undervalue themselves. So, for example, we've had people come to us and say, "Oh, well, we're selling this course for $1997." Okay, well, why not sell for $2,997? I mean, if someone's going to give you $2,000, the jump to $3,000 is not that big of a difference, right? If someone's going to give you $2,000, they'll be willing to give you $3,000, right? And so, but what that does is when you go from $2,000 to $3,000, or from $1,000 to $2,000, right? It makes your marketing a heck of a lot easier, because you can spend more to get a client. So, for example, it is a lot easier to sell a $10,000 product than to sell a $1,000 product.
Yeah,
a heck of a lot easier, right? It's even easier to sell a $20,000 product than a $10,000 product, right? Because all you got to do is like close like one person, and then boom, $10,000, or boom, $20,000. Whereas $1,000, once you include all your marketing costs and overheads and all that nonsense, there's not much left for advertising and then to put into your bank account, right?
Yeah.
So if someone here is, if somebody's listening to this, if they're selling $1,000 product, right? If it's good, like if you think, yeah, this is a good stuff, like this is a good product, put your prices up, put up $1,000, right? If someone gives you $1,000, they're willing to give you $2,000. It's not that big of a jump. So that's what I always tell to people who are trying to get into YouTube ads. Look at your pricings, right? If you need to, put it up. So, I mean, don't come like $1,000 to $10,000, but yeah, don't be afraid to boost. Like another example, perfect example. We had a student of ours who was selling fertility coaching, right? For women who were struggling to have kids, right? And he would get onto calls with them, and he would get into these programs and teach them all this stuff or whatever. You don't need to be jabbed by needles and this and that. You gotta look at your daily routines, what your diet is, and even look at the man. What are you doing? What are you eating? You drinking too much? He had like a 90% success rate, right? And he was selling his course for like $2,000. I'm like, dude, you should be selling this for like 10. Like, you're giving people the ability to have a baby. Like, that's like the most emotional thing you could possibly give to a person is a child who's been struggling to have a child, right? So he bumped his prices up. I told him to go to 10 grand, but he didn't want to. So he went to 5 grand, went to 4,997. His close rate was still the same. So his close rate hadn't dropped, and he was getting more money.
Mm-hmm. Which paid for his advertising.
Which made it easier. So, I would seriously consider, and that's one of the biggest things that I see with a lot of coaches and consultants and whatnot, is they just undervalue themselves. Okay, look at your pricing and bump it up and see what happens. 9 times out of 10, nothing will happen, and you'll just get more money, which make it easier for you to advertise.
Makes a lot of sense, Marcus. It makes a lot of sense. Where can people find you if they want to work with you, Marcus?
Yep. So if anyone's interested in jumping on a call with us, we do YouTube strategy calls. It's not a sales call, nothing like that. Basically, all it is just we jump on with you, and we want to make sure that you're able to get a 3 times return minimum on your advertising. Right. So 3 times in profit. So not top line, bottom line. So 3 times return. If you can get that, then yeah, YouTube ads will work for you. Right. And that's what we do on the call. So if you want to just jump on a call with us, just go to titanmarketer.com. And then there should be a nice chunky button there that says somewhere where we have training, and you can watch our training, and then you can watch where you can also, if you scroll down the page, there should be a button there where you can book a call with us as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Marcus, if you were to give someone some words of wisdom, doesn't matter if, business related or otherwise, what would it be?
It's a good question. It's well asked. As far as so for me, the past 3 months have been a real eye-opener for me, because I've been getting so sucked into my business, right? I wouldn't call myself a workaholic, but I've spent too much time working and not enough time with my kids and my family, right? So I heard this quote, oh man, a couple months ago, and it hit me in the face, right? And it was, the only people who will remember that you worked, how much overtime you did and how much you worked, okay, will be your kids and your family. Your boss, your employee, they won't remember that stuff, right? But your kids will. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh man, because sometimes I will work from sun up to 1 in the morning, right? And when I heard that, I was like, I'm not gonna make a change. So, and I found that the more time I spent with my wife and my kids, right? And I took time out and I just said, yep, I'm not after this point during the day, I'm not working anymore. And that's like an absolute emergency. The happier my kids are and my wife is, the better my business does. Because I'm sharper, I'm less stressed, I'm, I don't know, my mind's less foggy and my mindset's better. So my business does better. So don't get too caught up in the weeds of running your business and neglect the people that's going to affect the most. I don't know. That's kind of, yeah.
I love it. That's great. That is really great words of wisdom, Marcus.
It's easy. It's easy to get caught up. It really is easy to get caught up.
Absolutely is. Yes. And we sometimes need to be pulled into line and realize that, the business will survive, a few hours without us, being there with our hands in the bucket, so to speak.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing all that wisdom with us, like how to get the YouTube ads up and running. It was really interesting to learn. And I look forward to talking with you again really soon.
No worries, Rose. Thank you.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.